Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jenn B, and you are listening to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we are going to talk about how the Guardians wrapped up the regular season, some September awards, who could possibly be winning the Gold Glove or a Cy Young. What do the playoffs look like? Who might we be facing? We will talk about how the Columbus Clippers, Akron Rubber Ducks, and Lake County Captains wrapped up the season. Then we will talk about how the Crew has been doing these last 2 weeks and what's next for them. We have one little update for the Cleveland Crunch. Then we will sadly talk about the Browns, though we don't want to. You don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to anyway. Then we will hit on some college football with Ohio State and Mount Union. And we will finish things out with the Columbus Blue Jackets. But before we get into all of that, we're going to hear a little word from our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and of course, a word from IE Sports Radio, the platform that brings you this show. So, without further ado, let's hear from those sponsors, and we will be right back after this.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out our wonderful sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Place your orders today on their website, planetjerky.net, for some of the best jerky you will ever have, and seal the deal wax seals for that perfect finish to your invitations, gifts, letters, and things of that nature. You can go right to the IE Sports Radio website /seal the deal wax seals to place your orders for that. And of course, be sure to follow IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can also follow me. You can follow the show at Show of the Land IE on X/Twitter. And you can follow me personally at Believe Land Girl on X, Instagram, and Threads, and Jen.believeland on TikTok. Now, let's get into some sports. How about them Guardians? They finished up the season 92-69. So for the last 2 weeks of the season, the Guardians went 2-1 in a 3-game series against the Minnesota Twins. They went 1-2 in a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. I almost said Seattle Cardinals. Wow. They swept the Cincinnati Reds in a 2-game series, and then they were swept sort of, by the Houston Astros. They lost the first 2 games, and the third game was canceled due to weather because the game had no impact on playoff seeding, etc., etc. So there was no reason to reschedule it. It literally rained all day on Sunday, so yeah, that game didn't happen. So, like I said, they finished the season at 92-69. They finished 2.5 games behind the New York Yankees. So they are the number 2 seed, which gets them a bye. But we will talk about that here in a minute. Before we get to that, let's talk about some of these players. Emmanuel Clase was named AL Reliever of the Month for September. Jose Ramirez was named AL Offensive Player of the Month for September. Steven Kwan, Andres Jimenez, Brian Rocchio, and Emmanuel Clase are all Gold Glove candidates. Clase has also been mentioned as a possible Cy Young candidate. So good luck to those guys. Who knows? Maybe our boy Andres will be getting that platinum glove again. We can hope. The Guardians bullpen also made history with the most pitchers having an ERA less than 2. They have 4 of them: Emmanuel Clase, Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, and Tim Herron. The next closest team was at 3 in previous seasons. And this season, no other team had more than one pitcher with a 2 or less ERA. So that is pretty awesome. Now, let's talk about those playoffs. So the Guardians get a bye. They don't have to play in the wild card. So that is a, a plus for sure. However, the ALDS will start on Saturday, and the Guardians will be playing the winner of the wild card series between the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. Don't really want to play either of those teams because obviously we just lost 2 games to the Astros and we did not play very well against the Tigers this season. And the Tigers are the hottest team in the American League right now. So there's that. However, it is what it is, and the Tigers did beat Houston today 3-1 in game 1. Game 2 will be tomorrow. Game 3, if needed, will be Thursday, and by Thursday evening, we will know who we will be facing come Saturday. So here's hoping the guys rest up, heal up, all that fun jazz, and are ready to hit the ground running come Saturday. Can't afford to lose either of those first 2 games that will be in Cleveland. Shout out to Patty Bax in the chat. Patty Bax is the host of the Buffalo Huddle, and she will actually be on right after this show. Now let's talk about those minor league teams because the Guardians aren't the only ones making things happen. The Columbus Clippers made it to the championship. Unfortunately, they lost the series 1-2 to Omaha. The Rubber Ducks suffered the same fate. They lost the division series 1-2 to Erie. However, the Lake County Captains won the Single A High Championship for the Midwest League. It is their second title in franchise history. And general manager Jenn made history as the first female GM to win a championship in minor league baseball. So congratulations to Jenn and the Lake County Captains. Way to go and they had a fantastic season. All of the teams actually played very well. Like I said, the Clippers and the Rubber Ducks made it to the playoffs, and they gave it their all. Unfortunately, they fell a little short, but it is what it is. Can't be disappointed with that. I will, however, be disappointed if the Guardians don't make it out of this series. I'm nervous about this one. I'm a little concerned about playing either of these 2 teams. The Guardians did not look great against the Astros in the 2 games they did play. Though they didn't get their butts kicked, they did stay in the games and they did attempt comebacks. Unfortunately, they fell behind early and couldn't overcome that. So they will have to try and not do that if they are to face the Astros come Saturday. And they really struggle against the Tigers pitching. So hope they rest up this week and are rearing to go with those bats ready and those gloves ready, because let me tell you, it was like watching baseball follies the last couple of games. They were just missing balls left and right. It was crazy. They couldn't get the ball out of their glove to make the throw, or they just bobbled it and ran out of time to make the throw, or what have you. It was very not Guardian like. So hopefully they get that all out of their system this week and are ready for Saturday. So I don't even know who I'd rather play. I mean, the Tigers by record are the worst team, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an answer on that one. I don't know who I would rather play. But that is going to wrap things up for the Guardians. So I am going to take a short break. And when I come back, we will be talking football and football with the Crew, Crunch, Browns, Buckeyes, and Purple Raiders. So stay right here listening to the Show of the Land with Jenn B right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we will be right back after this.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo sports with a twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out our other shows, the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax that I mentioned earlier. Will be on right after me, and then Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris will be on right after the Buffalo Huddle. So be sure to check them out for your Buffalo and Philadelphia sports needs. Now let's get into some football with the Columbus Crew. The Crew have played 4 matches since my last show. On the 18th, of September, the Crew took on Toronto and they won 2-0. Cucho Hernandez scored a goal at 51 minutes, and Andres Herrera scored a goal at 70 minutes. It was Herrera's first MLS goal, so congratulations to Andres Herrera for that achievement. Then on the 21st, the Crew faced Orlando and they won 4-3. Diego Rossi scored a goal at 30 minutes. Christian Ramirez had a goal at 51 minutes. Cucho Hernandez with a goal at 71 minutes. And AZ Jackson had a goal at 85 minutes, and that was AZ's first goal with the Columbus Crew. So, congratulations to him on that one. On the 25th, the Crew played a Club America in the Campeones Cup final. It was a 1-1 draw, and unfortunately, the Crew fell short in penalty kicks, 5-4. Multi Amundsen scored the lone goal at the 77th minute. And then this past Saturday, the 28th, the Crew took on DC United, and it ended in a 2-2 draw. Cucho Hernandez scored at 54 minutes, and Jason Russell Rowe scored at 57 minutes. Unfortunately, DC United tied things up towards the end of the match, so it ended in a draw. Bummer. They really needed that win, and we'll talk about why now. The Crew is currently in second place in the Eastern Conference. They are 8 points behind Inter Miami. Crew have 4 matches left. Their next match is against Inter Miami tomorrow. Inter Miami has 3 matches left. The Crew need to win at least 3 of the remaining 4 matches to have a shot at the Supporters' Shield, and most notably, they must beat Inter Miami tomorrow. So, fingers crossed, we beat them already once this season. Hopefully, we can do it again. And additionally, the Crew is only 1 point above FC Cincinnati, who is in third place. And FC Cincinnati also has 3 matches remaining. So, it's very important that the Crew get some wins in these last 4 matches. Beating Inter Miami tomorrow would be huge in getting to that first place position. Now for the crunch. Just one little thing on the crunch. They re-signed their head coach, Antonio Monfort, to a 2-year contract. So congratulations to Antonio. And we look forward to 2 more years with him at the helm. Now let's get on to what we don't want to talk about. Don't want to talk about it. See? Losing, 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 and more losing. Losing, 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 losing. So, in the last 2 weeks, the Browns have lost to the Giants 21-15 and lost to the Raiders 20-16. The Browns have yet to score more than 18 points in a game. That's correct. They have yet to score more than 18 points in a game. It's just been bad, guys. It's just bad. Amari Cooper looks like he never played football before. The offensive line looks like they've never blocked before. There's really just not much good to say. The defense is doing fairly well. Dustin Hopkins missed an extra point last week. So even he isn't that fantastic. Everybody's hurt. It's just Miles Garrett is playing injured. He's got all kinds of issues going on. He's got like a thigh issue. He's got an Achilles issue. He's got issues with both of his feet. Ugh. And Jordan Hicks is playing hurt and actually ended up leaving the game on Sunday. Um, it's just bad, guys. It's just bad. This is not the team we expected to see on the field. I guess if you want a bright side, Deshaun Watson was like the third or fourth highest rated quarterback this past week. So he's not the problem, but somebody is. Something's the problem because it's just not working. It's not working out there at all. The offensive line has been absolutely horrendous. I mean, it doesn't help that if we move into these lovely injury updates, Wyatt Teller has been added to the growing list of players on IR. Jack Conklin has been out with a hamstring injury. Jedrick Wills left the Giants game with a knee injury and did not play last week against the Raiders. Ethan Posick left the Raiders game with an ankle injury. So the only starter left on the offensive line as of this moment is Joe Bitonio. And guys, he's not getting any younger. So yeah, there's that. It's not cool. Not cool at all, guys. It's been awful. But we do have some positive news this week. Nick Chubb is expected to return to practice tomorrow. Woot woot. I'm so excited to see Nicky out there. I don't know if he's going to play this Sunday, but he's returning to practice. Naheem Hines is close and should return to practice either this week or next week. David Njoku is expected to practice this week. So those are positives. We still have no offensive line, though, so there's that. Zach Zinter, our draft pick this past draft, is starting in Wyatt Teller's place. Jedrick Wills was out. James Hudson started at left tackle. DeJuan Jones started at right tackle. DeJuan Jones and Deshaun Watson had some words during the game against the Raiders. DeJuan has not been playing anywhere near up to the caliber that he played last season. So I am beginning to think that the problem with the offensive line just might be coaching. Because you know what changed between last year and this year? The offensive line coach. So, yeah, that might just be the problem. Might be. So, like I said, Ethan Posick left the Raiders game with an ankle injury. He is considered a day-to-day. Jordan Hicks left the Raiders game also with an elbow injury, and he is also considered day-to-day. So Sunday, we will be playing the Washington Commanders, who are red hot right now. And we've already dropped 2 to the NFC East. So why not make it 3? This is kind of a must-win game. We are currently 1-3. We only beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have yet to win a game, by the way. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe Nick Chubb coming back will be the spark that this team needs. And you are welcome, Patty. Oops. I don't know. I'm seriously at a loss with this team. Like I said, Amari Cooper's been playing like crap. There was an interception against the Raiders that should not have been an interception, and I'm actually disappointed that it counts against Deshaun Watson because it was in no way whatsoever his fault. He was hit as he was throwing the ball, hit Amari Cooper in the hands. Amari batted the ball up into the air and it was intercepted. So the only solid play Amari Cooper had was a 82-yard touchdown reception that was called back because of holding on the offensive line. Nick Harris, who replaced the injured Ethan Posick. So it's been the story. The story of the Browns is injuries and penalties. It's just been awful. I seriously, I'm at a loss. So because I'm at a loss, I am going to move right on to the next subject because these Browns, I'll tell you what, I don't want to watch them anymore. I don't want to watch them. So let's move on to the Ohio State Buckeyes. They are currently ranked number 3 still. Last Saturday, the 21st, they played Marshall and they won 49-14. And this past Saturday, the 28th, they played Michigan State, or Exogen State, as we call it here in the great state of Ohio. They won 38-7. And if you did not see that game, I am telling you, go back and watch the highlights. Jeremiah Smith had 2 of the most amazing catches I have ever seen in my entire life. Both were one-handed catches, one from Will Howard and one from Devin Brown, one for a touchdown, one for a first down. They were spectacular catches. It's hard to believe he's a freshman. Ohio State's next game will be this coming Saturday against Iowa, and that will be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I believe that will be on CBS. Next, for the college football, we only have 2 now. Those ranked teams are just falling off for us here in Ohio, just like the Browns. So, must be an epidemic. It's an epidemic! It's a losing epidemic! Anyway, the number 3 Division 3 Mount Union Purple Raiders on the 21st played John Carroll and they won 37-31. And this past Saturday, the 28th, they played Baldwin Wallace and they won 52-14. And I just realized when I saw that they were playing Baldwin Wallace that Baldwin Wallace is literally 5 minutes from my house. So I need to pay more attention to the Mount Union schedule. And the next time they are playing Baldwin Wallace at Baldwin Wallace, I need to go to the freaking game because it's literally like 5 minutes from my house. So, because you have to pay like you're attending the games. Like you literally have to pay the ticket price to watch their games on their website. So with all the streaming services and everything else that I already pay for, I'm not doing that. So it would be nice to actually get to see them play. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that schedule in the coming seasons and try and catch them when they're at Baldwin Wallace, or if they play at Baldwin Wallace again this season for some reason. I don't know what that reason might be, but if it were to happen. And their next game will be Saturday against Otterbein, and that will be at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will not be on TV because it's Division 3 and it's just not on TV. It sucks that it's not on TV because I would like to see them, but it's not. Maybe one of these days I'll splurge and pay to watch one of their games. But yeah, so John Carroll and Youngstown State are no longer ranked, so we will maybe talk about them another time. Maybe they'll get back in there. John Carroll's still in the voting. Youngstown State is not. They have fallen out of the voting. So we will keep an eye on it. I will keep an eye on that, and I will also keep an eye on Division Two. Ashland, they were close to being ranked at one point, and they have been winning. So I will keep an eye on them, see if they jump into those D2 rankings. But for right now, our only two ranked teams are Ohio State and Mount Union. So that is going to wrap things up for all that is football. Well, no, not football. Football and football. So we are going to take another short break. And when we return, we will wrap up the show with some hockey. So stay right here listening to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we will be right back after this.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
Love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the '08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies,
And your one-timers,
you wicked wristas.
and be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's talk some hockey. So the Blue Jackets got preseason underway this week, and they also announced that they will be wearing a patch on their jerseys and on their helmets in remembrance of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. It is the number 13 and the number 21, I believe. 21 was Matthew's number, and it has like a dove on it. It's really cute. It is a really, well, not cute. It's really It's really pretty. It's perfect. And it was just announced yesterday that all NHL teams will be wearing a sticker on their helmets in honor of um, Johnny Gaudreau. So that was nice to see and hear. Um, Now to get into the Blue Jackets preseason, they're actually not doing too horribly. So on Monday, they played the Buffalo Sabres. Unfortunately, they lost 6-1. Matthew Olivier had the lone goal, but don't fret, because that's not all. On the 25th, which was, I don't know, because I already took down my September calendar. The 25th was Tuesday, I think. No, Wednesday. It was Wednesday because the 23rd was Monday. So the 25th was Wednesday. They played the St. Louis Blues and they won 3-0. Nice little shutout. Kent Johnson, Kirill Marchenko, and Denton Mateychuk scored the 3 goals. Then Friday, they headed over to Washington and played the Capitals, and they won 8-4. Adam Fantilli had a hat trick. Matthew Olivier had 2 more goals. Mikhail, I can never say his name. Putia. James Malatesta and Cole Sillinger each had 1 goal. Then Saturday, Saturday. They played the Buffalo Sabres again. It was the like AHL version of the Buffalo Sabres because their main players are over in Germany, I believe it is. So take this win with a grain of salt, I guess. I mean, they're still hockey players, but they won 6-3. Sean Monahan had 2 goals. Jake Christensen, Adam Fantilli, Cole Sillinger, and James Van Rimstick each had 1 goal. And then last night they played the Washington Capitals again, and they lost 3-2. Luca Del Bel Blues and Denton Mateychuk scored those 2 goals. So they are 1, 2, 3, 3-2 so far in the preseason. So not too bad. In their scoring, they have scored at least 1 goal in every game so far, and 2 or more in all but 1. So, and 3 or more in 1, 2, 3, in 3 of them. So not bad at all. I'm definitely so far liking our new coaching staff and what they are doing with the team and how they're doing the lineups. So we will continue to watch that and see if we continue to like it. From what I'm hearing, Elvis versus Lincolns is stepping up and actually playing like that number 1 goaltender that he claims to be. So we'll see how that pans out. He also had his helmet repainted or got a new helmet. I don't know which, but it is in remembrance of a Johnny Gaudreau, and it has a giant number 13 on the front of it right above the face mask. One of my friends sent me the picture and I said, stop trying to make me not hate Elvis because I don't like him. He was not very reliable last season. I'm not a fan. Maybe it was the coaching. Maybe things will turn around this season and he will be a happier camper and we won't have those issues with him. I don't know. But I'll believe it when I see it kind of person. So I will believe it when I see it, just like I will believe the Browns can win football games when they actually win football games. Anywho, Next up for the Columbus Blue Jackets, they will be taking on the St. Louis Blues tonight, and then they will be playing 2 games against the Pittsburgh Penguins, one Thursday and one Friday, and that will wrap up preseason. The Monsters get underway with their training camp this week, so the Blue Jackets have been making cuts and reassigning players to the Monsters in preparation for their camp. I do not have the list right at this moment. The reason I did not have a show last week was because I had to go to Chicago for work. So things have been a little hectic. So I will get together actually, by next show, I should have the final roster because they should be making their final cuts after game there on Friday. So next week we can talk about the final roster and uh, get into the start of the season. I believe their first game is the following. Wait, what is today? Oh, today's the 1st. I'm looking at November. My gosh. I believe their first game is next Thursday. So, yes, on next Tuesday's show, we can talk about their upcoming games, the season opener, and the final roster, and all of that fun stuff. To my knowledge, it is possible I missed it last week because I was not on social media very much while I was in Chicago because it was just crazy hectic. And when I was in my hotel room, I was sleeping. So I didn't really have a whole lot of extra time to check on things. But I do not believe they have signed anybody new. I know that Don Waddell said that he wanted to sign at least 2 more veterans, and they've only signed 1 to my knowledge. Like I said, it is possible that they could have signed somebody and I missed it, but I haven't seen any new names popping up, so I don't believe that they did. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if maybe as teams start cutting down their rosters over this next few days, if they go out there and sign another player. They are still down 1 forward with obviously Johnny Gaudreau's passing and then Justin Danforth's wrist injury. So we will keep an eye on that, but that is going to wrap things up for today's show. So I'm going to play music. We will be back same time, same place next week with more on the Cleveland Guardians and how they are doing in the play. Hopefully we will be talking about some wins. I don't think the series will be over yet on Tuesday. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, I think they'll be on game 3 come Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So we will talk about how the Guardians are doing in the playoffs. We will talk about how the Crew fared against Inter Miami. And actually, they might actually have a game on Saturday too. Let me check real quick. Inter Miami tomorrow. Yes, and they will be playing Philadelphia on Saturday. So we will talk about both of those games or both of those matches on Tuesday. We will talk about whether or not the Browns decided to figure out how to play football. We will see how our 2 ranked college teams, Ohio State and Mount Union, did. And of course, we will talk more about those wonderful Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm hoping for a much better season. They are going out there to win it for Johnny. So stay right here with IE Sports Radio. Jump on over to Spreaker. Check out the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax that will be coming up here in about 5 minutes. And then a little after her, we will have Philadelphia Sports Talk and then the neutral zone, and finally Spin City Sports. I will catch you all next week. Thank you once again for joining me on the show of the land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good night, Ohio.